family may get into a conflict because of something that happened at work. And that thing that happened at work may not have been between the two partners, but it's because your wife may be getting sexually harassed at work.
Okay.
So that's where the gender oppression would filter into it, and also how she was raised and how you all relate to each other also impacts what's happening outside.
Okay.
So it's kind of like an interwoven fabric of how things
Okay.
are connected. So what things on the wheel would you say that have been done to you?
Well, I came from a family with a lot of alcoholism, so, so what she was talking about, her dad using the male privilege,
Mhm.
once she said that, I recognized that my family was a lot like that too. I mean, my dad, it was his way or the highway.
Okay.
Um,
That whole category, huh?
Yeah, I don't, second shift, that's where women work, right, and then they also take care of the kids,
Mhm.
yeah.
So that housework, that the second shift is kind of just the first shift work outside the house, and then all the things that are done once you get home.
Oh, yeah.
And even if you work at home, then there's a whole lot of chores and duties that go on all day long. You know, putting the kids to bed, waking everybody up, washing clothes, dishes, make sure bills are paid, all those types of things.
Okay, yeah, I mean, my mom and both Carly just don't work, so
Mhm.
they just have the one shift then, I guess.
The one big shift,
The
right?
one shift, yeah.
All right. What else happened, things that you experienced happening to you?
Well, my dad, I mean, it was a day and age where you could hit your kids, so I learned a lot about respect and how to act and whatnot by slapping and shoving and punching but I not so much the emotional abuse.
Okay,
I don't really know about that.
all right.
That's about it.
What about any history of sexual abuse?
Not that I know of. No, but my family does keep a lot of secrets. Or we
So-
just don't talk about things.
So you say not that you knew of, meaning that something could have happened that you may not be aware of, or you can't recall anything, or there's a question about it?
I mean, sometimes the women in my family, go and talk about their things in the kitchen, but they don't really share it with the men in the family, so I don't think so. No one acts funny or different now.
Okay. All right. So, anything else that may have happened to you?
I don't think so.
All right. So what about things that happening in you and Carly's relationship? Anything that you have done to her on this wheel?
Well, I mean, did she tell you about what happened like 2 years ago?
Which part of it?
We had some issues. I was really stressed out at work and we fought. It got physical.
Okay.
So we were hitting each other.
So give me an example of what would happen.
Well, there was a couple nights where I came home from work and, I was really stressed out and we just started fighting about something. I think it was about money. And it just escalated into, like, I think she just said something that triggered me and I ended up pushing her and she pushed back and then, so I slapped her and then she got really, really upset and started crying and then I felt really bad and then we talked about it and we worked it out and I actually put a punching bag in the basement because I knew that I was really stressed out and I saw my dad do that to my mom and I didn't want to do that to her anymore.
And so was that only one time that you've ever hit her or slapped her?
It was just a couple, but it was just during that time. I can't exactly remember how many times, but we talked it out.
So there's several instances.
Yeah, a couple.
What about intimidation?
Fear, gestures, loud voice, smashing things, stalking. I mean, I'm pretty loud, but I mean, when we fight, we do yell at each other. I guess I don't know if I'm trying to intimidate her as much as just to get my point across, but I do yell.
What about the punching bag? You think that could be a thing of intimidation?
I don't know. I guess I never thought of it that way. I thought of it more of, I need to get my aggression out.
Do you practice boxing when you're not angry?
No, I don't have time.
So it's usually you'll go to the punching bag instead of being angry and intensity at the moment, and you just kind of
Yeah,
put that out somewhere else.
yeah.
What about, we're skipping around, let's use immigration. Was there any, both of you US citizens?
Yeah.
So that hasn't been an issue?
Mm-mm.
All right. Has there been any threats of leaving, or if you don't have me, then you won't be nothing, or something's going to change if I'm not around since she doesn't work? Is that something that's there, like changes in her status?
No, I mean, if I can share, I think she threatened me
Mm-hmm.
to leave, and that works. That puts me in my place.
So she threatens to leave you?
Yeah, and I mean, and if she left, she would take their kids,
Mm-hmm.
and then I make all the money, so then I would pay like
A lot
a
of money.
huge money to her, huge amount of money, so.
Mhm. And what about sexual abuse?
No, our sex is fine.
Mhm.
It's good.
Does that mean that, so have you ever felt like you pursued her for sex after arguments, or after being angry, or having a good punching bag session?
Well, I mean, yeah. After we've like talked it out and calmed down,
Okay.
I don't like go in and attack her when I'm all sweaty, but it's, there's like seduction and
Makeup.
yeah, and I don't like force her or anything. And there have been times where she's like not okay, and I'm like, all right, get you tomorrow or whatever.
All right, so that's good. So thank you for sharing that. All right, so you want me to bring it back in, or y'all know what's gonna happen after this?
Sorry.
Bring it back in? All right. Come back in.
2 minutes.
Yep, 2 minutes. So let me have those. Oh, no, you keep my guys.
Oh.
That's right. All right. So thank y'all for sharing and going through real separate. We want to separate folks to give each of you an opportunity to kind of talk about things about the other person and have that freedom to kind of disclose stuff. So the fact that I've heard both of your stories, that means that there's really no secrets, and you can feel free to share if you'd like to, but you don't have to discuss this when you get home, because eventually we'll get to all these issues, and there's going to be other things that may come up as we go. One of the things that I wanted to, as we wrap up for today, just kind of put out there is that there are some misuses and abuses of power in relationship that we can see, and I think both of you can think of examples of that and have shared examples of that. So that's something that we will begin to look at even more about how that actually plays out. But that doesn't mean that you need to break up. It doesn't mean that everything is going to fall apart. It means that there's some things that you both stated that need to be addressed, and that will make you feel more comfortable in the relationship. And that's going both ways. And also recognizing that we come from somewhere, right? So we all have our own family histories that we bring to the table. And some of the things that we do, and I'm sure you can point to things that you do or say that comes from your families and communities that you grew up in. So those all are playing into the mix between what's happening between you all. And so as we, just as a reminder, make sure that as you're going through the weeks, you want to definitely not become physically aggressive with each other. And, if there is a situation where something happens, you can do what you need to do to protect yourself, whether that's call the police or call family members or whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that you're safe. And also, just remember that, as you're home and you're discussing or you get heated or arguing, you have kids in the house, so they're picking up these things. Even if you think they're not seeing it or witnessing it, they're seeing and they can feel the vibe in the space. So those are things that we also want to look at, not only what how your interactions impact you, but also impact your kids, right? And so we want to just be very clear about that as we move forward. So I got everything down. We'll think about this some more and figure out some ways to kind of help us understand it more, and to help both of you be able to better manage the stresses in your life and the impact that it has on you as a couple. And then some of the work would be about, what it's like growing up in your household and what's like going in your household, and then what does it look like when you put those two houses together.